Hello students, good morning. Today we are going to start second part of the chapter New Questions and Ideas. In the previous video we discussed about Buddhism, Mahatma Buddha and his preachings. Today we'll study about Upanishads. What do you understand by Upanishads? At that time the Buddha was preaching, and perhaps a little earlier thinkers also tried to find answers to difficult questions. So, what were these questions, right, to which these people were trying to find out the answers? Some of them wanted to know about life after death, that what happens after death, what kind of life is there after death. Others wanted to know why sacrifices should be performed, and many of these thinkers felt that there was something permanent in the universe that would last even after death. It means what remains after death. They described this as the Atman. It means they asked the questions, they kept the question in their minds, and then they found the answers and described them. So they described this as Atma. Atma would last even after death, or the individual soul, and the Brahman, or the universal soul. They believed that ultimately both the Atman and Brahman were one. It means this is the mixture and mingleness of universe and individual Atma. It means it is also called Atma and Paramatma. It means universe, Brahman and Atma are mingled and be one. Many of their ideas were recorded in the Upanishads. So these ideas consist of the new questions and new explanations, and these are kept in Upanishads. So these were part of the later Vedic text. Upanishad literally means approaching and sitting near. It is the meaning, and the text contain conversations between teachers and students. Often ideas were presented through simple dialogues. Most Upanishadic thinkers were men, especially Brahmins and Rajas. So these were the thinkers. Occasionally there is mention of women thinkers such as Gargi. You can see in this picture Gargi, who was famous for her learning and participated in debates held in royal courts. She used to debate in royal courts in front of the kings and other wise people, right? Poor people rarely took part in these discussions. Only rich people, royal people and higher classes people used to take part in these debates. One famous exception was Satyakama Jabala. He was poor. This is the he was exceptional case in this way, who was named after his mother, the slave woman Jabali. So what was the name of Satyakama, the mother of Satyakama? Jabali. He had a deep desire to learn about reality, was accepted as a student by a Brahmin teacher named Gotama. What was the name of teacher? Gotama, and became one of the best known thinkers of the time. Many of the ideas of the Upanishads were later developed by the famous thinker Shankaracharya, about whom you will read in class 7. After that, this is about Panini. Panini wrote grammar. He was grammarian. This was also the time when other scholars were at work. One of the most famous was Panini, who prepared a grammar for Sanskrit. So who prepared grammar for Sanskrit? Panini. He arranged the vowels and consonants in a special order and then used these to create formulas like those found in algebra. He used these to write down the rules of the language in short formula, around 3000 of them. So this was about Panini. One more thing is here. This is about the story of wise beggar. You can read here, story of wise beggar. Here is a dialogue based on a story from one of the most famous Upanishads, the Chandogya Upanishad. This is the name of Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad. Shaunaka and Abhipratarin were two sages who worshipped the universal soul. Once, as they sat down to eat, a beggar came and asked for some food. "We cannot spare anything for you," Shaunaka said. "Learned sirs, whom do you worship?" the beggar asked. "The universal soul," Abhipratarin replied. Then again the beggar said, "Ah, it means that you know that the universal soul fills the entire world." "Yes, yes, we know that," the sages nodded. "If the universal soul fills the whole world, it fills me too." "Who am I but a part of the world?" the beggar asked. "You speak the truth, O young Brahmin." "Then, O sages, by not giving me food, you are actually denying food to the universal soul." The sages realized the truth of what the beggar said and shared their food with him. I hope that you are understanding the story, the wise beggar. In the beginning, when the sages refused to give the beggar any part of their food, then he convinced them by giving the logic, by giving the idea and explanation, right? So in this way you can understand that how did the beggar convince the sages to share their food with him. So this was the story, dialogue, and now we'll study about 6 schools of Indian philosophy. What are the 6 schools of Indian philosophy? Over centuries, India's intellectual exploration of truth has come to be represented by 6 systems of philosophy. These are known as Vaisheshika, Nyaya, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, and Vedanta. Vedanta or Uttara Mimamsa, also known as Uttara Mimamsa. So this one, Vaisheshika, this was founded by Konada. Nyaya, Gotama. Samkhya Darshana, Kapila Muni. Yoga Mimamsa, Patanjali. Today you understand regarding Patanjali, famous for yoga. And Purva Mimamsa, this was Jamini. And Vedanta or Uttara Mimamsa by Vyasa, Maharishi Vyasa. These philosophies still guide scholarly discourse in the country. German-born British Indologist Frederick Max Muller has observed that the 6 systems of philosophy were developed over many generations with contributions made by individual thinkers. However, today we find an underlying harmony in their understanding of truth, although they seem distinct from each other. So dear students, in this way we have completed the topic in this chapter, this one, and in the next video we will discuss about Jainism. Thank you. Have a nice day.